If you want more content from We Studios, check us out at wepodcast.com, where you can find episodes of our Simpsons Podcast, Worst Episode Ever, or our commentary series, Sync Points. And if you want to support the show,
you can click through our Amazon links. That's wepodcast.com. You click the Amazon links, shop on Amazon like you normally would, and we get a small percentage.
Thanks, guys.
This episode of 90s Percentile is brought to you by Jock.com. That's JOQ.com. Jack, what is Jock.com?
Jock.com is a website.
It is a website. That's what the .com means.
For Jock.
For all the jocks in your high school.
Now, obviously, I'm not very technologically savvy. I don't exactly know how the series of tubes works. I know that it is a series of tubes.
It is.
But that's why Jock.com is great, because they kind of just take care of...
They know how the series of tubes work.
They know how the series of tubes work. They know what order they go in.
Yeah.
They know which wire to cut, the green wire, the red wire. They also dispose bombs.
They dispose of bombs, and they're really great. That's Jock.com, JOQ.com. They are digital business solutions. If you need a website, if you need an app, these guys know what they're doing, and they're British, which means if you're talking to them on the phone,
they sound really smart. They sound really smart.
They sound so smart. They've done so much great work, apps for TV shows in England, and they want some U.S. customers, I think. Or if you're in England, they want you too. If you're in Mars, they want you. They want all the aliens and everybody.
They are not discriminatory.
They just want you.
If you are living in that superstructure that's floating around that planet, what is that? The alien megastructure.
Yes.
If you're floating around in that and you need an app, you need a megastructure app, go to Jock.com.
Jock.com. That's JOQ.com. And we thank you for supporting 90s Percentile. 60 minutes are on the clock, and straight out of We Studios, this is 90s Percentile. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we're talking everything 90s and maybe also everything before and after.
We'll see what happens. But let's do our first topic. Jump right into it. The first topic is going to be this show.
Yes.
Because we don't know when or if you're hearing this.
This is one of our famed, I assume by now, test shows. This is we've recorded a bunch of...
Or it could be episode 1. We don't know. We have no idea.
We recorded a bunch of shows in 2015 near the end to see what the hell we're doing and if this will work.
Right.
Maybe these are fit to air. This might be our pilot episode. We don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea. But this is a show about the 90s. We are taking topics that listeners suggest. They're going into a list, and we are going to be randomly pulling topics from that list and just talking about those topics, seeing where they take us.
Yeah, it might not be an exhaustive conversation. Might just fit the moment. I don't know. It's just loosey-goosey.
Loosey-goosey.
But we want the goal is to try to, by the end of the run of this series, to have covered everything that ever happened in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Or at least blatantly or at least superficially mention it.
Yeah. I think by 2090 we'll get there.
Yeah, well, maybe.
We'll see.
And then we'll start 2090s.
And then we start the 2090s percentile.
Yeah. Also, if you're new to this and you have listened to our previous show, Worst Episode Ever, a Simpsons podcast.
Yes.
You might know our famous catchphrase.
Cut all this.
Because we go on for hours and hours and have to cut most of it out. We're not doing it with this one. This one is live to card. We have a gigantic timer staring us in the face right now. It's already 58 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, we've been talking for 90 seconds.
Okay, so when that thing ends, no matter where we are in the conversation, we're done and we wrap it up.
That's going to be the end of the episode.
And there's no cutting.
No cuts. Everything stays in. All of our horrible secrets that we revealed by accident, they will be staying in.
I'm always accidentally revealing my my unborn, mysterious, illegitimate puppy.
I was born with 7 toes.
No, you can't take it back.
I can't take it back. Now, do I mean on one foot or just in total?
Is it 12 toes?
That I won't reveal.
Maybe you will by accident.
We'll see. It was on 1 foot. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to our first real topic. I'm bringing up the old topic submission bag.
Bring up the old random topic generator. So don't have a cutesy nickname for this yet.
We'll come up with one.
Right now it's just the rando top eye generator.
We just dropped off a couple of letters off every word of random topic generator.
That makes a nickname, right?
And we probably have a website, by the way, at this point, if you're actually listening to this.
Yeah.
Insert here what the website is.
Again, this is a test show. Not everything's there yet.
No.
Consider that there's still like plastic tarp all over We Studios.
But we want you to submit your 90s topics. It could be literally anything in the 90s. If you want a specific movie, a specific episode of a show, a entire run of a show, anything.
We were saying initially the idea was give us something broad, give us something specific, give us all of Seinfeld, give us one specific Seinfeld episode. Yeah. I feel like from the first 3 test shows, specific seems to be better.
Yeah, I think so.
For the format. I mean, if you want to do something broad, we'll give it a go. Even if it's something we've never heard of, we'll give it a go. We're using Wikipedia.
We'll take everything. Yes, we're heavily using Wikipedia today.
But I feel like specific might be better.
Okay.
And like, don't be afraid to get super specific. Dude, that one line in that Soup Nazi episode.
No soup for you. Our first topic. No, it's not actually our first topic. But I do have our first topic, and it's fairly specific.
All right.
It is, quote, the Starbucks across from the Starbucks. So I guess the topic here
is how Starbucks is everywhere.
Exactly, and like the Starbucks proliferated in the 90s and kind of became everywhere.
Right. I don't think I even heard of Starbucks until college, I would say, until I moved to Manhattan.
Okay, so that would be you hadn't heard of Starbucks until 2003, 2002?
I don't know, I must have heard it before then. I don't know.
I feel like it was definitely, the 90s was when it was around.
It seems to just gradually become a thing. I don't know.
Well, it seems like, judging from Wikipedia, as I'm looking at it right now, it started in the late 70s in Seattle, or early 70s in Seattle, and then once it went into...
what year in the 70s? I want to know what you considered. I want to know what you considered late 70s.
It's 1971.
So that 1971 is late 70s to you. It's like, look, 1970 has come and gone. We're almost at 1980 now. Why even bother calling it that? You might as well call 1971 the early 80s.
You have 1970 and you have the late 70s. That's it. There are only two things. And that's how it works. I had scrolled down and I didn't see.
I would call it the early 80s, to be honest. It's like you're practically there.
It's so early. It's before the 80s. That's why everything before and after the 90s counts as a 90s topic, because it's either proto 90s or post 90s.
It's, everything. Nothing exists in a vacuum.
Exactly. Except Starbucks, when they sell vacuum-sealed coffee beans. Those exist in a vacuum.
They started doing that in the late 70s.
That's correct, 1971. But Starbucks, apparently it started in 1971, the late 70s, and then when it expanded into California in the early 90s, that's when people...
The early 90s is really just the late 80s.
It kind of is. That seems to be when it really started to blow up. First overseas location in 1996. So that's something.
All right. So
they were adding 2 locations a day between 1987 and 2007 on average.
That's crazy.
That's
especially
insane.
Because like 1987, they weren't on the radar yet, the national radar.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I guess it's an average between those 20 years.
So,
meaning they opened multiple stores in a day.
So there was obviously some kind of negative connotation with the idea that they were proliferating and that they were everywhere. I feel like at this point now, it's just become such a fact of life that it's kind of lame to just make a Starbucks joke like there's a Starbucks everywhere. It's just kind of a fact of life.
Not in the 90s though.
So yeah, in the 90s it definitely was. My question is, where is that negativity coming from?
Well, I think it was the fact that Starbucks was tamping down the mom and pop coffee places,
like the evil bookstore and You've Got Mail.
Exactly, like You've Got Mail.
So that's because I don't know. That's definitely a right answer. I'm not sure if it's the only answer because yes, it was definitely putting out. It was kind of the homogenization of culture. It's putting down mom and pop stores.
Right,
but
definitely
I feel like
part of it.
Coffee prices were also a big thing. It's like, I'm not paying $4.50 for a coffee, which I don't, and I don't really go to Starbucks because it's too expensive.
I go to Starbucks occasionally.
If it's there, I'll pay the extra money out of the convenience. But I usually get my coffee from a deli. Make it at home.
I think there's just a lot of things that people... Starbucks blew up real quick, and there were a lot of
not real quick. It started in the late 70s.
It was the early 70s / early 80s. But I think there was just a lot of, weird things, for lack of a better word, with Starbucks. You had that they call everything a venti and a grande, and it's not just like small, medium, and large. They have their own thing.
It's kind of pretentious.
Right. And it doesn't totally make sense.
When you go, do you say, can I have a medium coffee, or do you use the size?
Yeah.
That's what I refuse.
I'll say a tall coffee.
I try not to be, too cynical and be like, ooh, whatever, but
Look, if you're already saying mocha frappuccino, what's a couple other nonsense words?
I don't know. I just can't not say small, medium, and large. I do it at Cold Stone, too. Cold Stone has, what are their 3 sizes?
I don't remember because the Cold Stone near us closed.
Yeah, the Wii Studios Cold Stone went out of business. They said there was...
it, love it, and give me a heart attack.
Yeah. Shove it down my throat.
Just hook it to my veins.
Get it in my eyes. Something like that.
That's a different store. I don't know what that is. That's down by the docks.
No, but when I go to Cold Stone, I go, give me a medium birthday cake remix.
Right.
Because I don't want to sound silly when I'm ordering my birthday cake remix.
Do you mean you like it?
Yeah. And I also would tip them. This is when I was a teenager. This is where I was being really obnoxious. I would give them a big tip. I go, this is to not to sing.
Yeah,
because,
right.
They sing when you tip them.
I'm sure they never heard that before.
Yeah, I know. I was real smart there. I was ahead of my time.
Yeah.
The sizes, the size.
I think the sizes might be part of the kind of
pretentious.
There was a lot of Starbucks animosity, I think, in the 90s.
Right, exactly.
And now, like you said, it's kind of just accepted. Like, there's Starbucks everywhere. Everyone goes there to go to the bathroom, especially in Manhattan and Brooklyn. But I think there was a novelty and kind of a ludicrousness to their strategy, which was they wanted to have Starbucks everywhere, and they do. And sometimes you would have a situation where literally you'd have a Starbucks down the street, or sometimes across the street, across the way from another Starbucks.
They closed one of them, but the Starbucks I used to go to in Manhattan was
downtown by NYU.
By NYU, yeah, and you would look out the window at the Starbucks across the street.
Yeah,
but I didn't go to that one because supposedly Matt Damon would come to write at the one, and I was always hoping to bump into him and be like, "Hey Matt, I'm a fan. Can I please be in all of your movies, and can you just give me money for no reason?"
Did that work?
I only bumped into him once, and it wasn't at Starbucks. He was jogging down where I used to live in Soho.
Yeah.
He's jogging along the Hudson River, and I stopped him and I said, "Hey Matt, I know you're busy. I know you're jogging, but can I please just get money for no reason?" And he just kept jogging.
He kept running.
I also said it under my breath while just kind of giving him a weird look.
Now, if you had said, I think if this would have worked, just spitballing here, but if you saw Matt Damon jogging along the road, and if you walked up to him and said, "Give me some money," and you had a gun, I think he would have stopped and talked to you.
So you're saying take out the please and maybe add a gun.
Take out the please, add a gun, so he knows that you're a professional, like you're like a cowboy, like an urban cowboy type.
All right. So this was,
maybe wear like a trench coat and like a mask over your face, so it's like a surprise. It's me, Jack. You can pull it off afterwards.
I'm thinking it's like I'm really hurting myself by just hoping he shows up at the Starbucks, or I think I just look up his address.
Yeah.
Go to his home.
That's a good idea.
Just wait inside his bedroom because you might. There's some rooms in your house, especially when you're rich and you got a big house.
Sometimes you have all these rooms
you don't go to every day, but you
the
go to the bedroom every day.
He's coming there.
Yeah, he's coming back. Probably at night when he's just ready for bed, not expecting anybody.
Yeah.
And that seems like the perfect time because now I have his attention.
Right.
So I'll wait in his bedroom. I'll sit on his bed. Probably going to get hot in there because I don't want to open a window or anything. I'll just take off all my clothes.
Take off your clothes.
The mask.
Leave the mask on. Leave the mask on. Leave the gun also. Maybe put it on your chest. And just lay in his bed with holding a gun.
Yeah, I guess I would just kind of straddle it between my legs as if it was a penis.
I think so. Just put it next to your actual penis. You do have a penis, right?
I do. Okay, good. I have 12.
No! You know what? Matt Damon might not know that you have a penis. You should have a huge erection when he walks in the room and hold a gun right next to that.
I'll think of some attractive ladies.
Okay, good. Good.
While I'm there, and then I will put my erection adjacent. Yeah, parallel to my. I'm assuming it's going to be a big gun. I want to make a real big impression.
Well, you should get
an elephant gun
that's the exact same size as your penis. So there's is that a gun or a penis? Oh, it's both. So he has that moment of fun. It's fun for Matt Damon to see a penis gun.
I like this game. I'm more in a mood. I think they talked about this on that NPR brain science show.
Yeah,
I think you're more in the mood. There's more serotonin release. Now you're more likely to give money. So then I'll be like, "Give me your money," and he'll be like, "Oh, okay."
He'll be like, "Is that Jack under that face mask?" And you'll be like, "It is."
And then maybe I should just shoot him. I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to try the same thing with Ben Affleck, actually, and we'll see how that works.
And Matt, Ben, if you want to be on 90s Percentile, you guys are quintessential 90s stars with Good Will Hunting and all. So if you want to be on the show, just let us know. I'm sure somebody is playing this tape to you right now.
Yeah, obviously.
Probably a bodyguard or
the police.
Security. Yeah. So let us know, and we'll have you on the show.
Yeah. And maybe we'll record it at Starbucks.
Yeah,
which is the topic we're still talking about. We're talking about Starbucks. I think it was a big thing their whole idea behind Starbucks doing what they did as far as locations, they wanted it so that everywhere you turned there was Starbucks. And it worked. Like in Manhattan, where I work, there's a Starbucks in my building. There's a Starbucks across the street. There's a Starbucks down the street. There's 3 Starbucks easily walking distance from work.
And when I order food, and I'm not not Joe everybody in this case. I feel like I'm definitely more on the neurotic end of the spectrum, but I really don't like ordering from places that I've never really been to and I don't know exactly how to do it. I just have this intense fear of making an ass of myself.
Sure.
Ironically. So, if I go to like a salad place or a sandwich place, I don't know where the line's supposed to start, what the ordering procedures. It took me a long time to get into Chipotle because I didn't know the right way to
It's tough.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve.
So
you have to be like Jane Goodall and just kind of like sit there for a while and be like,
just
okay.
watch everybody else.
You order the chorizo there, and then they get the guac at the end.
Exactly. And again, this is probably not universal because it's probably more a Manhattan thing than anything because we're just so intense with getting the order and getting the food out and everybody's rushing.
Right.
But Starbucks, I don't prefer it because it is expensive, and I'm not quite familiar with how to order there because or at least I don't know what all the different things mean.
Well, it's weird because like they'll have a menu posted, but that's not everything they sell.
Right,
like there's only some things on the menu.
But my point is,
and I don't know enough about coffee to order something weird.
Exactly. My point is though, if there's a Starbucks and then there's another coffee shop. Even a mom and pop shop right next to it, I'm probably more likely to go into the Starbucks because I'm just a little bit more familiar. I know where everything is. I know how to order. Right. I know that they're going to call my name. I know they're going to wait over there. I know,
and they'll probably be a little friendlier.
The bathroom.
They'll probably be a little friendlier to you.
Well, I don't know about that.
You don't think the Starbucks baristas sometimes they got some tood? No.
Oh, no. I'm saying I wouldn't go to the mom and pop shop. I'm saying I'm going.
Oh, you're going to Starbucks.
I would go to the Starbucks
I see.
because I know it more. I recognize the landscape.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't be going to the mom and pop
shop.
But
I thought you were saying it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming ordering, but not being in Starbucks.
It's overwhelming ordering in general, and because there's so many Starbucks and it's so ubiquitous, I could be in Santa Fe, I could be in Sacramento, I could be in Rome.
Another part of their design.
Starbucks is a Starbucks is a Starbucks.
Yep.
So yes, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I don't go there that often, but I've certainly been there more than I have been to that other mom and pop shop.
Sure.
So I feel like I would be more likely. Like their plan worked. I'm saying their homogenization, their gentrification, whatever you want to call it. It's working. It works for a reason.
I mean, you're not buying coffee at your own mom and pop's store. You're going to Starbucks and specifically hurting your parents.
My mom and pop sell coffee, yeah. They've been divorced for 25 years.
It's crazy. It's weird that they own the coffee shop together still. All these years later.
No, I would probably be more like if you have a mom and pop store and once you get used to it, then that's obviously makes more sense for the same reasons. You got the rhythms down, you know where everything is. Yeah. But when you're in a place you don't recognize and you don't know what's around there, that Starbucks is kind of you know what you're getting. I want to circle back to a comment you kind of hinted at that the baristas at Starbucks are not the friendliest. I take a little offense to that.
You did not work at a Starbucks, my friend.
I worked at a Starbucks ripoff chain. It was pretty much a Starbucks.
We won't say what it was.
We won't say which one, but I was a barista for a couple of years. And my general sense is, and also everybody I worked with was a former or future Starbucks employee.
Yeah.
They all came and went from Starbucks.
Sure.
And from what I understand, it had its pros and cons from a smaller. My chain is growing. It's probably where Starbucks was in the late 1971s.
Okay.
No, it's it was different. The corporate structure was not quite as the same. But anyway, for my working with baristas, I would say in general, you got good people and you got bad people. Look,
True.
Being a barista is a shitty job. And from what I understand, the beat-by-beat job was exactly the same. It's demanding. The customers are awful to you. They're so demanding. Again, this is generalizing because there's also very good customers and they're very nice customers.
I walk in and I say, "Where the fuck is my coffee?" Yeah. And they're always very rude
and
to me.
You are like 65% of the people. Yeah, no, the customers are... It's very frustrating how impatient they are because I'm the exact opposite as not just as a barista but as a customer. You ever go to McDonald's and you get the training person and they don't know what to hit and they're being told hit this button. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like it's their first fucking week probably. Like give them a break. You get frustrated sometimes because you just want to get going.
Yes.
But you never like give them attitude.
Well, a lot of people are just completely
jerks.
in their own bubble. Yeah, they're jerks. They're jerks.
Basically,
they don't care that it's their first day. They want what they want. They want it right now.
Look, I understand we all have hard lives. I can't.
My life's pretty good.
I can't justify being a jerk to a stranger. I just can't.
Right.
And I see it all the time, and it's just so frustrating. I'm not an alpha male. I won't call them out on it.
Yeah.
I might just give a nice smile or a reassuring look to the person, and then maybe even go even easier on them.
Right. I feel like we're taking two different sides, where you're defending the barista and I'm defending the customer.
Well, I'm defending. No, yeah, I'm not.
But they're all the same. They're all people. And they're
I think
all
customers should be like me. But in general, defender or customer, You got assholes, you got good apples, you got bad apples.
Right.
I worked with people.
Do they sell apples at Starbucks now?
They might have. My place did for like $1.50, and they would go, "Do you have apples?" And I would usually go, "There's a fruit stand literally outside the door." I would buy it from there. It's probably fresher and it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I got so frustrated with my coworkers who it was such a shitty job, and you were always in a bad mood, and I was there. And like it just sucks. It's just such a and you're getting paid. This was before the $15 an hour minimum wage.
Right.
I was making $9 an hour when I started. It was the hardest job I ever had physically. You just feel drained at the end of the day. I've lost a good sense. I've lost hearing. My hearing. Like if there was a good lawyer, there's a class action lawsuit there for baristas because those seam wands they permanently damage your hearing.
Really?
Yeah, they're so loud. The decibels are off the charts.
Okay.
So they're not safe. So it's a shitty job.
It's a hot take from Jack the Barista.
So you talk to somebody. So you give shit to the you get a customer and they come right up to you. If a customer is rude to me, I might take it two ways. I might just try to kill him with kindness, or I might just be curt and rude back. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get that. But to just be rude to somebody right off the bat, like, "Hi, so what do you have here?" Annoying question, yes.
Yeah.
But when I would see a coworker just be a dick to that person.
Wait. I have to go back for a second. So someone comes into the store, which is very clear what the store sells. It's a coffee store.
Right.
And they're like, "So what do you have here?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be half the customers.
This happens often?
Half the customers, yeah.
Who goes into a store and doesn't know what the store is?
You know who did it to me? Oliver Platt once.
Really?
And I was very nice, and I was very patient with him, and I was like, "All right, you can have this, you can have the, this." He's like, "All right, let's go with the." He twirled his finger and he pointed, and he just goes, "Let's go with the Earl Grey." And
Ready to Rumbles, yeah. Oliver Platt.
Well, so that's the thing. So I was just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan. This is really cool." And he's like, "Oh, thank you." And then I blanked on any one of his movies. I couldn't think of a single one.
Searching for Bobby Fischer.
There was only one movie I could think of, and I didn't want to say it. And I finally was just like, "Yeah, I'm a big fan. I really love your movies. I love." And then there's like a beat, and he just looks at me, and I just go, "Lake Placid," and he goes, and he thinks I'm being sarcastic. He goes, "Yeah, Gator movie, thanks." And then he was a dick to me the rest of I actually tweeted at him. It was one of the first tweets I ever made. I said, "Hey, Oliver Platt, sorry, I wasn't being sarcastic. I promise." He was probably so confused.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hate when I would see coworkers be knee-jerk rude to a customer, and it just makes us all look bad.
Right.
And there was a lot, and I would see customers, and sometimes I would even do it. I would be rude just because I'm in a bad mood, and I would try to catch myself, and then I would maybe not apologize for it because you don't want to bring attention to it, but then just be extra nice the rest of the transaction.
Sure.
I get it. If I can lose the self-control, and you know me, I have no temper, and I'm totally
absolutely.
I'm a master of self-control.
Oh yeah.
Master of Zen. No, but I can't stand that there are, and you're right, there are plenty of baristas in Starbucks and other ways that are just awful. But they're not everybody. That's all I wanted to.
I understand. Here's my question to you. I'm very curious. I've never worked in like a service type job.
That's the worst. The customer is always an asshole.
As Ben Affleck told us in the film Mallrats, which came out in the 90s.
Is that what he said? Is that a line from Mallrats?
Yeah, the customer is always an asshole.
Oh, I didn't remember that. I've been saying that for years and just attributing myself to it. I was actually going to tell Matt Damon. I was going to be like, "I got this great line you should use in the new Bourne movie."
He probably would because he's in a service job for some reason in this new Bourne movie. The Bourne sale. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything better. So moving on. I really wish we could edit that out.
Nope, can't. It's there forever. Remember when Dan made that great Bourne identity joke? The Bourne sale? Top-notch podcasting.
I'm usually a little quicker on my feet.
It's because you got 12 toes.
It's true. They don't slow me down. Even though they're extra weight. My question is, though, as a barista, as someone working in a service industry, if someone came in and was a dick to you, did you ever do anything to their order? Or, like, see anyone do it? Like, not even spitting it? Like,
no comment on seeing other people doing it. Maybe not at the barista job. I worked at a deli in high school. I don't think I would ever have done anything. I might have purposely...
like you probably
gone
give them
slower.
Yeah.
I would put the drink up, maybe not call their name or ignore their questions.
Yeah, right.
If they're if they're saying something, I might ignore them.
So all communication or kind of your job, do your job less well.
Yes,
for someone.
I would never like
rude.
spit in their drink or anything like that.
I wouldn't think that you would. I'm just, because that's kind of the fear, at least, that I think a sane person would have. Like, I better treat this person right because they are creating something I'm putting into my body.
Honestly, if you spit in their drink and they don't know it, it's not gross. Drinking a small thing of spit, maybe if it's like a big hot loogie, it's kind of gross.
Right, but they'll probably notice that.
Yeah, but like if you spit in a drink, I've probably drank spit before, and it's like if you don't see the sausage getting made, it's not what
you'll never know.
It's not punishing them at all. Yeah.
So okay, this is gross, but
the only thing the better punishment would be to go, I spit in your drink, even if you didn't. Because that affects them more if you tell them that.
Yeah, this is related, but not at all related to Starbucks. So I'm going to say it, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
I knew somebody who
knew somebody.
Knew somebody. There was another guy he didn't like.
Was another guy he didn't like.
He jizzed in his shampoo bottle.
No. Oh, okay.
Never told the guy about it.
At least it's not going in his mouth.
Never told the guy about it. I think he may have found out like years later. This was in college. Yeah, okay. I won't say who it was, obviously. But that just made the guy who did it seem like really fucking creepy. Like, who jerks off into a shampoo
you're clearly
bottle?
Thinking about the guy too while you're jerking off. And like, are you jerking? He's
gonna rub it in his hair. He's gonna rub his hand through his hair, real sensually.
Like, do you have to go into your fantasy bank and come up with like one of your typical masturbatory stories, or are you getting off on the idea that somebody's gonna be rubbing their jizz in your hair?
I don't know. I just like.
I'm assuming you're the person, and
I'm not. I'm neither party.
I'm assuming you're the one that did it.
I'm not.
Nobody ever told you the story.
I also never ate poop, which may have not been released yet, but probably will be at some point. But I was neither party. It was just two guys that I knew.
You just happened to know about this guy who masturbated in a bottle. He went out of his way to tell you.
He actually did. Like, he really wanted people to know that he did it. Like,
to the point where he would tell people on a podcast and just couch it in the fact that it was hypothetically somebody else.
Son of a bitch. All right, I think we've said all we need to say about Starbucks.
Have we? I don't know.
Do you have more?
I'm trying. So they're talking about the ubiquity of Starbucks.
Yeah.
Starbucks across. I guess. I feel like a lot of these topics, there's just because we're really doing this off the cuff with no editing.
Yep.
I feel like every time we end a topic, we're gonna be like, oh, there's something else I want to say about it. But
we'll move on to a new topic. But maybe we come back to Starbucks.
And feel free to continue these conversations in the Reddit that goes along with this podcast.
Yes, that we assume exists.
Because we know you guys are gonna yell at us and tell us, why didn't you bring up this? Why didn't you bring up that?
Right.
If we have the time, I would be more than happy to keep talking about this stuff in text.
People love yelling at podcast hosts.
But to sum up, not all baristas are assholes. Yes, a good deal of them are. There's a great Saturday Night Live sketch from a couple of years ago where you can buy like a Keurig type device.
Oh, yeah, I love that skit. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It calls out your name, but
wrong.
Poorly.
It's they get your drink order wrong.
Yes.
No, it is what it is.
Is what it is.
There's good baristas out there. In general, if you're a barista and you're listening to this, and if you're a customer, and especially if you're a customer, just be polite. Just be nice to people.
Don't be a dick in general.
Just don't be a dick. Smile. Say thank you. How's your day? Like, just even if it's fake. Like, I'm the most miserable, angry, bitter person you've probably ever met.
It's
but
true.
I'm also one of the most polite, I'd like to think.
Well, I mean, you're okay.
To strangers. To my loved ones,
I was a stranger to you once. I remember the first day I met you and you just shoved me and said, "Out of my way, dick face."
I mean, yes, but it was out of love.
Okay, then I apologize. You're right, it was.
The world would just be so much nicer on a smaller scale if people would just... I don't know. There's no reason to be rude to a complete stranger ringing up your order. And even if they give you a little attitude back, whatever. Who cares? There's fucking... Who cares?
People are jerks, and that's just how it's going to be.
I guess. I don't know. I'd like to think we're better than that. We're just being lazy. I don't know.
All right, here we go. Coming up with another topic.
33 minutes, 57 seconds left to talk about the next topic.
Our next topic is going to be the 90s films of Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
That's a broad topic. Hello. I started Hook. That was one of my 90s films.
All right, let's start with Hook. I think it's underrated. People seem to give it a bad rap.
I think it's way overrated. I do not care for Hook.
Why?
I don't think it's a very good movie. I think it's like kind of... It's fun-ish, but it's never a movie that I want to rewatch.
I think it's one of the best.
Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, not my favorite casting.
I like it. Makes sense. She was huge at the time. It's crazy to think that she was, 21 at the time?
Oh, God.
Because she was always just like a middle-aged woman to me. And by middle-aged, I mean like 30, which
right.
I'm older than now.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, adult is an adult is an adult. So it's kind of crazy to think that she was so young. And then she wasn't really famous that long. That's the other thing. Like, I'm sure you guys have noticed, the older you get, the more quickly time seems to pass. And it's funny how when I was a big movie buff, I would go, oh, wow, so this actor did this big project 2 years before this big project. And, like, it seems like a long amount of time. And now, like, 2 years is nothing. So, I guess I mean is, like, how long somebody has been famous. So the idea that, like, Julia Roberts had really only been famous from maybe, Mystic Pizza, which was, like, 87, 88.
Yeah.
And by 91, she was, like, a superstar. She's in Hook. She's Tinkerbell.
She was everywhere. Yeah. I mean, Pretty Woman
And it's
exploded.
crazy to think that she was only famous for, like, 4 years. Like, 5 years before that, she was, a nobody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to think. Like, it's weird to think about stuff like that.
Definitely. I also just want to say how sad I was and still am that Robin Williams is no longer with us.
Yeah, especially the way it went.
It was just not great.
That was one of the big ones, for sure.
But I have brought up a list of the films that Robin Williams has appeared in. Let's just run through his 90s movies, and we'll just talk real brief about
I'm not going to let you off the hook for shitting on Hook.
We'll get to Hook. So the first movie in 1990 that he was in is called Cadillac Man. I've never seen Cadillac Man. I remember it was on Comedy Central a lot.
I remember always going, oh, I should watch this one of these days, and never.
But
he had a mustache.
He had a mustache. I remember him wearing a white suit, maybe. I don't know. But that's all I got about Cadillac Man. It's like one of those movies. I never wanted to watch a movie for the first time when it's on like cable.
Right. You want to sit down and
you want to see the actual unedited movie without commercials.
I won't start a new movie in the middle of it, even if I miss the first 5 minutes.
Me neither. We're both anal in that way, Jack.
We're anal in other ways, too.
Oh, can't cut that out, can we? Sorry, wife. Awakenings was the next movie, which I've actually never seen Awakenings. I feel like you probably have.
I've never seen it.
Okay, then never mind.
I heard of it for a long time, and I never thought much of it. I didn't realize until like a year ago. I guess maybe I might not have even realized until a few months ago when Dr. Oliver Sacks died.
Yeah, he wrote the book.
I didn't realize that it was about him and his experience.
Yes.
And it's a really crazy experience.
I don't remember, Robin Williams played the stand-in for Oliver Sacks.
I think he played Sacks, yeah.
And De Niro was the patient.
Played the patient, yeah. And it's a really crazy story. It's based on a true story about these people who had this crazy mental disorder. I forget. I think it was post-traumatic stress disorder, or some of it was. Maybe it was biological. But basically, these people were in catatonic states for decades, and they would eat. Maybe they weren't like it was almost like movie insane. It was almost like you wouldn't believe that the human body could do this.
Right.
Where they were catatonic, but they weren't. They were there, but they weren't there. And then Sacks
is it the kind of situation where you're like conscious, but you can't do or move anything?
No, you're not. There's not like somebody in there screaming for help.
Right. Like
they are, but they're
like the Metallica song One.
Right. I don't know.
It's a song. It's actually based off of a movie and a book, I think, called Johnny Got His Gun, where this kid in the war steps on a landmine and he's stricken blind, deaf, and dumb, and his arms and legs are gone.
So you're just trapped in your body.
He's trapped in his body. Yeah. Ultimately, he taps out in Morse code, "Kill me." And
wow.
Yeah. It's dark stuff on this fun podcast.
No, these people, if anything, Sacks discovers this chemical that wakes them up. And he injects it, and suddenly they all wake up, and they're basically like they knew they were trapped, but they were kind of just asleep. It's basically like you were asleep for 60 years.
Okay.
And eventually they wore off, and they went back into most of them slipped back in their catatonic states. It's just one of those like it's stranger than fiction type stories.
Right. Oliver Sacks was specialized in that.
Yeah.
The man who mistook his wife for a hat. His other big famous book. Yeah.
But it's funny because I'm a big Sacks fan, obviously, and it's just I never saw Awakenings.
You're a Sacks man?
I'm a Sacks fan, and I never took Awakenings as a Sacks project. I took it as a Robin Williams project.
All those Sacks projects running around Hollywood. Okay, so that was it for 1990. 1991, films of Robin Williams. He had a small cameo, I think, in Shakes the Clown, which I've never seen.
Never seen.
That's Bobcat Goldthwait's first movie.
Oh, yeah, and he worked with him again.
They were, like, very, very close friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in World's Greatest Dad.
World's Greatest Dad, not a 90s movie, but a fucking terrific movie and a great Robin Williams performance.
I had to rewatch it. I watched it with a bunch of people, which is not the way to watch a movie like that.
That's a good movie.
Rewatch it. What else is
I'd like to talk about Bobcat Goldthwait movies, but we'll save that for when that comes up in the topics. He was in a movie called Dead Again, which I don't know what that is. It was directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Huh. No.
Don't know what that is, so no comment on Dead Again.
Skip.
The Fisher King. I've been meaning to see The Fisher King for years.
Never seen
Have you seen it?
Nope.
Okay. It's a Terry Gilliam movie. I love Terry Gilliam.
Okay.
Generally one of my favorite directors. I'm a big fan of Monty Python, a big fan of Fear and Loathing, 12 Monkeys, Brazil, all that good stuff.
Yeah, he's very talented. I don't have much of an emotional attachment to his movies.
You're not really a Monty Python guy, though.
No, in that I haven't watched it. I mean, I'm sure if I saw it, I would like it.
Well, maybe. You may be too old now. I mean, I feel like it's...
Really?
Not a young man's thing.
I watched that 6 series documentary a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I really got to watch this. But
now, why would you watch that if you were not a Monty Python fan?
Oh.
It was on.
But
I had 6 hours to kill.
But like everybody's like, oh, you should at least watch Life of Brian, just watch something like that. And again, it's because I have this OCD where I have to watch everything from the beginning, and I won't appreciate.
But they're completely unconnected.
I know, but I won't appreciate the context of what they made. I try to watch everything in chronological order.
So you've never seen a Monty Python movie? You never saw Holy Grail?
I saw Holy Grail.
Oh, okay.
And I loved it.
Okay.
So
then what do you?
I saw Spamalot. It was the first play.
Why are you sitting on the Monty Python bandwagon?
Because I just want to watch the series
Get on the
first.
bandwagon.
I just want to watch the series first, but.
All right, I have the DVDs. Maybe you'll borrow them. We'll see.
There's not enough time in the world. I have like a queue of. Like, not only do I have a queue of everything I want to watch, I have a queue of like, all right, this is next, and there's like 13 shows on that.
Oh yeah, I also do that. It never works. The queue.
I
always just watch what I want to watch.
We've said this before in our Simpsons podcast. Maybe not. We certainly say it in real life. Collectively, me and you, our idea of heaven is just some kind of conduit to watch infinite pop culture, like to catch up on everything.
I need to just catch up on everything.
Like,
just give me
when
some
you
time.
die, God is like, okay, you don't have to worry about food or socializing. You can just watch all of these things.
You can finally watch The Wire.
Yeah, and ideally that would take eternity. Because more stuff would be being
created.
There's
a lot of content, man.
Look, if
a lot of content
and then even
out
if
there.
you watched everything, finally get through everything, you're gonna want to watch it again.
Well, then you're gonna have to listen to the podcast that explain the show you just watched,
or listen to a podcast where people rattle off a bunch of it that they hadn't seen yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have never seen The Fisher King.
And when you die and you finally get to watch The Fisher King, maybe even 2 or 3 times, you're gonna want to go back and listen to a podcast where people bring it up and they go, "No, I didn't see it."
All right. So when I'm listening to this as a ghost, ghost maybe?
So the idea of zombies in heaven is kind of creepy.
Zombies in heaven. All right, I got a new book I got to go home and write. Zombies in heaven. And then finally in 1991.
That would have been a great 90s Robin Williams movie, to be honest.
Hello, who put all these zombies up in heaven? The final movie he was in 1991 was a little movie called Hook. I don't know what that is, so we'll just move on to 1992.
Jesus.
Look, we're gonna at least mention every movie he was in the 90s.
God, all right.
Do you want to continue talking about Hook? I feel like Hook will be its own topic at some point.
All right,
you can write it in.
If you're listening, somebody write in Hook so I can bring Dan down a peg.
To school.
And tell him why Rufio and the gang is solid movie making.
Barf.
Oh, God.
1992, that takes us to the big animated hit he was in. I think you know what I'm talking about. World famous film, Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest.
Is he in that?
He played the voice of Batty. Not a great movie, Fern Gully. I've seen it. I saw it once.
I don't know. It was cool to see it in 3D. I was hoping Sam Worthington would have a bigger career coming out of it, but... it was just...
I see what you've done. I see what you've done here, sir. You've confused Avatar with Fern Gully.
You got me!
Where Robin Williams also played the bat in Avatar. He'd come in and be like this, and like my dance. That was the voice he used for Fern Gully.
Have sex with me with your tail.
Hello? I've got to get the unobtainium. Take it back.
Blue, what is this, Aladdin 4? That was more of my Jackie Mason, I'm sorry.
Okay. Then apparently he was in something called The Timekeeper, which is noted as a Circle Vision 360 film. I don't know what that means.
Circle Vision? 360 sounds like Oculus. That sounds like VR.
It was, okay, yeah. I figured it had to be like an event kind of thing. It was apparently in Disneyland for a number of years. It was replaced by Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast. So Tim Allen, you've taken more work away from Robin Williams.
All right, what year are we on now?
We're still in 92.
All right, late 90s.
Late 90s. The real hit of 1992, the one we all remember Robin Williams for, his big budget blockbuster hit, Toys. Remember Toys? I've actually never seen all of Toys. I've seen bits of it.
Toys started the tradition of LL Cool J surviving a movie, surviving a 90s movie, but coming out, or maybe not 90s, surviving a movie, but coming out injured.
Right.
He would always get hurt, and you think he's going to die, but he always makes it. And
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea, Toys, Mindhunters.
I don't know what Mindhunters is, but it kind of sounds cool.
It was a what's his face? Remy Harlan, I think was.
Rennie Harlan. Okay.
Yeah, I think
that's a '90s director.
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
it's with Christian Slater and Val Kilmer, and it's like a slasher film, and they both get killed within like the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoilers
for Mindhunters. I was gonna go rent it tonight.
It's not the worst movie.
Okay. That's all I'm. That should be the pull quote on the DVD of Mindhunters. It's not the worst movie. Jack from 90s Percentile. LL Cool J doesn't die? Question mark.
Yeah, and Halloween 20 years later. So there's at least 4 movies where he gets hurt, but he pulls through.
Right. Well, Toys, I've never seen Toys, but I have listened to the How Did This Get Made episode about Toys.
That's actually the perfect question. How did that get made? What is that movie?
It was a passion project for, I don't remember if it was Robin Williams' passion.
Who directed it?
Barry Levinson. I think it might have been his. It's just, from my understanding, it's just really weird and dark.
Barry Levinson.
And not very funny.
He did Addams Family?
Did he do Addams Family, or was that?
Or was that Barry Sonnenfeld?
Yeah, I think it was Barry Sonnenfeld, because Barry.
I'm saying, did Levinson have the pull to make a passion project like that already? I guess he must have.
Barry Levinson did Toys, Wag the Dog. He did Sphere.
But that was all later.
Yeah, no, he did not do.
Was he
Addams
big
Family.
In the 80s?
We're not talking about the 80s movies.
Well,
of Barry
I'm saying,
Levinson.
how did he get the pull to make Toys?
He did Diner. He did The Natural.
Diner, okay,
he did
right,
Tin Man. Good Morning Vietnam. That's a big one. Oh yeah, Rain Man. I guess that was a big one too.
So he did have the pull to make Toys.
Right.
That's all I didn't want it answered.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to know how it got made, you should listen to the episode of How This Get Made. But wait until this episode is over. We don't want you listening to other podcasts.
No. You want to hear us list off the movies we haven't seen.
Otherwise, we're going to come to your homes and wait in your beds and ask you for money. Then 1993, Robin Williams was only in one movie, which is kind of strange. But do you know what movie he was in 1993? Let's see.
93.
Pretty famous movie.
If it's not Aladdin, is Aladdin 93? Or is
Aladdin was 92. We skipped Aladdin actually. I forgot about Aladdin. Yeah. He was in that. It was a pretty good movie.
All right, we're going to assume all of these movies are going to be topics on the random topic generator at some point, so we won't go into depth into each one.
Yeah.
The topic right now is just in general.
These are the 90s movies of Robin Williams.
Give me a hint with 93.
Well, should we talk about Aladdin?
Is it Mrs. Doubtfire?
It's Mrs. Doubtfire, the only 1993 movie. But we should talk about Aladdin. Aladdin's the best Disney movie.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
No.
What's the best Disney movie?
I mean, Aladdin's great. I'd probably put it in my top 5. I'd put Lion King over it.
I want to know what 4 movies you think are better than Aladdin. Go. Okay. Lion King's one.
Right. So as you might know, when I list top 5s, I'm hesitant to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You could just name them.
A general top 5.
Just name them. But you said Aladdin's in your top 5, implying it's number 5, because you would have said a top 4 or a top 3 if it was number 4 or number 3.
Not the right information.
You've been lawyered.
All right. But okay, so Lion King I think is better.
I disagree, but Lion King's a great movie.
So Lion King's in there. And we're talking hand-drawn, right? Not Pixar.
Not Pixar. We're talking Disney movies.
Okay. So Lion King I would put in there. I would also put in Alice in Wonderland.
Not my favorite.
Maybe Cinderella.
Okay. These are all the chick movies, bro.
I don't. It's hard.
How come you don't like Brother Bear?
I love Lady and the Tramp. I don't know if I'd put that above Aladdin.
Atlantis, the Lost Planet, or whatever.
Fantasia's top 5.
Fantasia's a good one. I've been meaning to rewatch Fantasia.
Fantasia's incredible. And then maybe Sword in the Stone.
You have named. That's 5 now.
Yeah, Sword in the Stone might fill out my top 5.
I used to love Sword in the Stone as a kid, but I have not seen it in years, and I don't remember very much.
I haven't seen Aladdin in years either.
Oh, I've seen Aladdin so many times, and I saw the Broadway production of it.
Is it any good?
It's good.
It looked Shrekky.
No, I liked it. It was they added back in a lot of songs that got cut, and so they had to The plot of Aladdin was different when they were first conceptualizing it, and Howard Ashman was writing songs. So there were songs that he wrote before he died that were
kind of like how the novelization was different from the
of Aladdin.
When you'd read a novelization of a Hollywood movie, it would usually crib from the early drafts, and you'd be like,
"This wasn't in the movie." It's like there's no part where Riggs goes to Murtaugh's dad's house.
Are you making a joke? Because I do have the novelization.
I know you do.
Lethal Weapon.
I was making a reference to you owning the novelization of Lethal Weapon, where Riggs goes to Murtaugh's dad's house.
You also find out that Riggs is 37 at the time, which was
really.
Yeah, I think he was. Okay. I don't think he was 37 maybe he was around 37 when he played it, but that was kind of older than you would expect.
Yeah, I would expect him to be younger, but all right,
which makes him about 48 in Lethal Weapon 4, which it fits.
Okay.
But you always pictured him younger, yeah.
Yeah. He was because he's like the hot, Like hot gun?
Yeah.
No, that's not what it is.
He was the hot gun of the 1980s.
Whew, my stars, he was a hot gun. No, what the hell's the word? Like the loose cannon. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Okay, hot gun.
The loose cannon.
Hot gun was the original name for Lethal Weapon.
It should have been. But then Top Gun had just come out and done millions of dollars, and they were like, well.
Too similar.
Yeah. Loose Cannon, I'm working on a film called Loose Cannon. It's about a cannon that gets broken off of a ship.
It's about Star Wars' extended universe.
That's exactly it. That's the one. Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993. Should we move on?
So you're happy with my top 5? Or
Oh, I'm not happy with it, but they're all movies I've seen.
I'm sure I'm leaving out a few. Whatever.
So Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, great movie. I feel like that will come up as a topic on its own.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know that we have that much to say. I liked Mrs. Doubtfire a lot. I saw it in theaters with my parents.
Yeah,
I've seen it many, many times.
I don't think this is out for release yet, but I actually recorded an episode of another podcast last summer called Mail Call, where we play...
It's just a bunch of men.
It's a bunch of men
calling each other.
It's a bunch of men playing Fuck, Marry, Kill about a other bunch of famous men.
Okay.
Basically deciding who is the best in their field based using the Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Interesting metric.
Yeah, exactly. And we did an episode with Robin Williams characters, and I was the advocate for Mrs. Doubtfire.
As for what?
Well, everybody advocates to the judge. You want them to get married. Fuck's okay, but you don't want your guy to get killed.
Wait a minute. I don't understand the premise of this show at all.
Well, we're not going to get into another podcast.
I think we need to talk about another podcast.
That may or may not even be on the air right now.
Okay, never mind.
But there was...
Someone actually got killed at the end of this show? Is that what's happening?
There was a judge, and he had to decide who was fuck, who was marry, who was kill, and each person got an advocate.
Is arguing at a point. Okay.
Yeah, so I advocated for Mrs. Doubtfire. And I think I feel like I got fucked. I don't know. I don't think I got killed.
You personally got fucked.
Yeah, I don't... no, Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I lost. Check it out if it's actually out there. I don't know if it is.
Okay. 1994, you had a movie called Being Human.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Do you?
Isn't that show on Sci-Fi Channel and BBC? There's the British show.
That is a show
about the ghost and the werewolf.
It is called Being Human. It is a British-Japanese comedy drama film directed by Bill Forsyth, starring Robin Williams, John Turturro, Bill Nighy, Vincent D'Onofrio, Robert Carlyle, and Teresa Russell. The film portrays the experience of a single human soul through various incarnations. I have heard
really
of this,
cool.
and it sounds kind of interesting.
Sounds like it probably failed in execution, but it sounds like it's really cool.
Well, Jack, the budget for this film was $40 million. Would you like to guess?
In the early 90s, that's a lot.
That is a lot. Would you like to guess how much it made?
$7 million.
$1.5 million.
Wow.
So there you go.
So I don't understand. Like a movie comes out like that. Maybe it depends on what was out at the time. But how do you not go?
It did not get good reviews.
I mean, who listens to reviews?
It's so banal. It's like a Mel Brooks parody in which someone forgot to put in the jokes.
Is
that
it
is a quote from Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly.
Is it a comedy? No, it's a British-Japanese comedy drama film.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like with that cast, you would be like, I'd see that.
Yeah, I would. I'm kind of curious about Being Human, so maybe we'll watch that one. But a movie I have seen in 1995, 9 Months.
Okay, all right.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah, he played the wacky doctor.
He played the wacky doctor, as he often did.
It's a girl, unless I cut the wrong cord.
Hello. I love 9 Months. I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's like, to me, it's the quintessential, like
90s
stereotypical
rom-com.
90s rom-com. I
Yeah.
don't want to say quintessential because I don't want to say it's the best or anything, but it has the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I saw 9 Months. I was 10 in 1995, and I feel like I saw it in the movies.
Julianne Moore seems like a very interesting choice because she seems above that kind of thing, doing the rom-com role.
Not at that time, I don't think.
No,
she was not established as like a...
Right, but she
only won an Oscar last year.
No, her career-wise, her options were more limited. But of her temperament, it still seems like a weird choice for her to make. Even Lost World was like an action movie, but she kind of fit that role better. Whereas playing the mom at 9 months, I don't know, just it's a little surprising. That's all.
Yeah, but maybe that'll come up as another one. We can talk in depth about 9 months.
Sure.
I have a lot of opinions.
Rather than take 9 months to go through all these movies.
I have a lot of opinions about Tom Arnold. Okay, I've never seen this movie.
He's great in True Lies.
He is great in True Lies, but that's not our topic. Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. He has an uncredited cameo.
Huh, that's cool.
I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
I know it's like a drag queen movie.
Yeah, it's like a ripoff of
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Queen of the Desert,
yeah.
I believe.
With who is it? It was Wesley Snipes, John
Leguizamo.
Was it John Leguizamo and Patrick Swayze?
I believe so.
I'm just going to look and make sure because we want to be an accurate, factual podcast, and that is it.
Technically a 90s movie.
Yes. So that was the cast.
What's next?
Another 95 movie, Jumanji.
You know, Jumanji I only saw for the first time just a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had the board game Jumanji.
It just had no...
It's not as fun as it is in the movie.
Even though I'm guessing at the time the big appeal was the CGI.
The CGI does not hold up. The monkeys especially
but at the time they were
terrible.
making a big deal about it because I guess you really couldn't have done a movie at that time with stampeding animals and zoo animals and stuff.
Yeah.
I just, even at the time when I was 11 years old, I was just like, this doesn't look interesting to me. I never felt the need to watch it.
Yeah.
And it was so everywhere. Jumanji, it's a movie about a game.
It was. That's an accurate.
Yeah, you remember that commercial?
I do remember that commercial, but sometimes those taglines are very misleading.
Yeah. Well, how was the game?
The game was not fun. Nothing came out of it. Nothing jumped out.
Obviously, no animals. Did you think kids were misled?
No, of course not. But like, you see Jumanji the movie, and I loved Jumanji the movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta get the Jumanji game.
David Hyde Pierce hamming it up.
Not David Hyde Pierce. David Allen Greer.
David Allen Greer.
Be a much different movie.
Very similar.
With David Hyde Pierce playing the black cop. I would actually love to see that movie. But no, I really wanted to get the Jumanji board game, and obviously I know that the fucking game isn't going to make animals come out and hunters, and I'm going to go inside for 30 years and live my life.
Why would you want that?
That's really what I wanted. Oh, man. But the game was super boring. As you might imagine, like, in the game, or in the movie itself, the game is not that interesting. It's you roll a dice, you move along a track, and like stuff happens.
Is it just get from start to finish? Is it Candyland?
The stuff, basically, because stuff happens in the movie, it happens in real life, so it's very exciting. It's like, oh my god, this game is crazy. But like, it's just a card. Like, you got hit by an elephant. It's just like,
that's all board games. Not all board games, but that's a big genre of board games.
That board game left me bored.
Just getting from start to finish, and your card gives you something interesting, like Uncle Wiggly.
Yeah,
Uncle Wiggly.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Uncle Wiggly?
Jumping to conclusions.
How dare you besmirch Uncle Wiggly?
I wish the name of this podcast was Jumping to Conclusions, because that's what you're doing.
There's already a podcast called that.
I was defending Uncle Wiggly, saying it's a great game.
We are in agreement.
Yeah, but it's all it is. It's too late. You already.
How dare you say it's too late? I'd like to talk about Starbucks,
but it's already start to finish.
Yeah,
and the cute. It's just all in the presentation. It's all this like foppish bunny, and like instead of saying the spiders move back 5 spaces, it's like cute poetry. It's like, oh, move back 5 spaces.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, Uncle Wiggly is a game for babies.
And Jumanji seemed. How dare you? How dare you?
I realized we just played Uncle Wiggly before we started recording, but you know.
How dare you? I have the Uncle Wiggly app on my iPhone 6S, and I play it on the subway every day.
I wonder if there is an Uncle Wiggly app. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't wonder that. I'm assuming 0 chance of there being an Uncle Wiggly app.
There might be.
I would love to play online. I'd love playing Uncle Wiggly online with people, but
we're gonna see. Oh, Uncle Wiggly was a series of books. I actually didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either. Then it was just a game.
I thought it was just the game.
So anyway, from what I remember from the commercials, besides it's a movie about a game, Jumanji, and they would say it over and over.
You say that very well. That's a new voice to add to your list.
My Jumanji tagline voice.
Yep.
So they, it looked like it was a really cool constructed game. It was very pretty. Like it looked like it was hand crafted.
In the movie, yeah. It's not like that at all in the actual.
Oh, it's not?
No, it was just a regular like cool Parker Brothers in the box board game.
Flat piece of cardboard?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd get like a brown box and there's was the die?
The dice were just regular old dice.
I pictured like with the triangles.
Plastic dice.
Angled. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay.
You know what game had the best dice now that we're just talking about this? And this is also a 90s thing.
Of course.
The Captain Planet board game I had.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
It had a wooden dice. Like all the games came with plastic dice, but Captain Planet
wood is
friendlier.
Yeah, it's friendlier.
So it came with a wooden dice. I used that wooden dice a lot. It left the Captain Planet game because I was like, this is the only good thing about this game.
I was having this is a little off topic. I was having a conversation with a friend of the show who will go unnamed, but he is fairly right wing.
Okay.
And by fairly, considerably right-wing conservative.
All right, so I know who you're talking about.
And he was getting into global warming, climate change. I was like, how can you go by the science like that it's man-made? And like, how do you justify all this stuff? And blah, 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 blah. And just to shut him up, to placate him, I wasn't going to get into it. But I said, look, I'm not super concerned with temperature rise. That's what that would use. Like, how do you know 2-3 degrees are really? We don't know what's going to happen. Was his argument, and it's like,
right.
He said, which is like,
well, but if we don't know, we should do something.
My loose argument was, whatever it is, it's going to cost money, and we should prepare for it. But then that wasn't placating him. So I said, look, I actually don't really give a shit about degree rising and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've always considered myself an environmentalist since I was a little kid, and that was probably because they pushed it hard on you in school, and because
especially
of
when
Captain
we were
Planet.
kids, because the early '90s was a very like green time with
exactly.
Captain Planet.
So
and other
we
things.
grew up in that, but. The climate change that bothers me the most, and the stuff I think that is disgusting, and that the government should like right now pass laws, free market be damned, and be like, we need like this is a given, and it makes me angry even talking about it in generalities that we don't do this. Is the kind of more concrete stuff than degree rising. It's air pollution. It's like, how do you live in Beijing? That's disgusting. It's water pollution. How do we allow them to put the shit in the water we're drinking? That kind of stuff. And then the easiest way to pick that, to get my viewpoint across, it hit me. Captain Planet.
Yeah.
All of Captain Planet's villains had something to do with air pollution, water pollution. He never fought a villain trying to raise the the ocean's temperatures by 2 degrees. So
that would be an exciting episode.
Yeah, exactly. So like when people argue like when there's climate change deniers and you just can't get through to them, at least just go. Look,
Captain Planet's there to be your guide.
At least give them the easy stuff. The low-hanging fruit of climate debate is you just go to Captain Planet. Whatever their bad guys are trying to do is bad, and it's easy to convince somebody.
Don't do what I'm blanking on a Captain Planet villain's name. Major Blight.
Blight. There was Duke Nukem. Which is not the same Duke Nukem from Duke Nukem.
The video game.
I only know this because I may or may not
way.
have written a live-action adaptation for my adaptation screenwriting class at
NYU.
My big point is if people if you can't really argue the esoteric stuff about climate change, just put on a Captain Planet episode. And just
if Congress would just watch Captain Planet,
I think the world would be a
Ted
better
Turner
place.
would be very happy.
That's what he's trying to do. Or Jane Fonda. Supposedly Jane Fonda made him do it. We don't know.
Well, either way, they'll be happy.
She's like, I'm not giving you a handy until you make a cartoon about
a planet-saving superhero. This is how Jane Fonda talks now. I watch Grace and Frankie. I know. Okay, 1996. We're only halfway through the 90s.
Right,
we're running out of time.
We have 6 minutes and 32 seconds left.
Aladdin and the King of Thieves. I saw it once. That was the third Aladdin movie, direct-to-video, that he came back as the voice of Genie for.
Yeah.
Don't really remember anything about it.
Weakest of the three.
Yeah. 1996, Jack.
Never seen it.
Have you really never seen Jack? You are Jack.
I am. I'm 60 years old.
It's your namesake. If there was a movie called Dan, I'd be the first one to see it.
It's also written by a Staten Islander.
Was it?
And we support our own.
Chris Terrio.
I don't think it was Chris Terrio.
It was definitely not Chris Terrio, but he is a Staten Islander.
No, didn't see it. Let's keep banging through these.
Okay, The Secret Agent. I don't know what that is, and he was uncredited in it. He was Hamlet.
Oh, that's
interesting. Or he was in Hamlet. I'm sorry. He
right.
played Osric in Kenneth Branagh's 96 Hamlet. I've only seen parts of 96 Hamlet.
That's not the Mel Gibson Hamlet, is it? No, Kenneth Branagh probably plays Hamlet.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh was Hamlet. Yeah. I've never seen it. The Birdcage, fantastic movie that I have seen.
Great.
He's great in that. One of his best movies, I would say. The Birdcage. I'm a big fan of The Birdcage.
I don't know. It's hard to compare them all.
1997, Father's Day, starring Robin Williams.
I remember that, yeah.
I remember it. I've never seen it. Billy Crystal, directed by Ivan Reitman.
It just seems to be like what Adam Sandler does now, where he wants to hang out with his friends. And
I
they
think
make a
so.
movie. Yeah. What else we got?
Deconstructing Harry. I've never seen.
That's
I'm
Woody Allen?
not a big Woody Allen guy.
Didn't see it. I am a big Woody Allen guy. I'm curious.
Flubber, which was one of the first movies I saw in the theaters. My mom dropped me off.
They were pushing that hard. They wanted that to be a huge hit.
It was.
Wait, it was because Nutty Professor was a huge hit, and that was a Jerry Lewis remake. And they were pretty much trying to do the same thing, Lightning in a Bottle twice, where they took a Jerry Lewis vehicle and cast it with a big star.
Yeah. But the difference, the Nutty Professor was like, you have Eddie Murphy doing it, and he put his spin on it. And it was, my memory of Flubber, I've not seen it in 18 years, it didn't have like a Robin Williams spin. It was just a generic live-action Disney movie.
They were using the CGI. Like that was the hot new thing to use, so they were like having them bounce all over the place playing basketball and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I don't know. Whatever.
It was a big success, actually. It cost $80 million at the box office.
I don't think it was a bomb,
And it made $177 million.
Well, there you go. But there was no Flubber 2, so that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. Finally, 97, we had Good Will Hunting, starring our buddy, Matty D.
Never seen it.
Have you really never seen Good Will Hunting?
Never seen Good Will Hunting.
I don't even know if well, whatever. We'll move on.
I don't know. I carry a screenplay around with me in my back pocket at all times.
Yeah, just
because
in case.
When I bump into Matt after I ask him for money, politely with my gun, I was thinking maybe it would be cool if we just like do a stage reading of the. And I want to go in cold too.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah, and I was like, Matt, I'll play you, and you play every other role, and
right, like a nice change of pace for him. I think he would like that.
I don't know.
You already played Good Will Hunting.
My idea is like obviously I don't know the guy, and I really want to just be in his life, and I thought maybe he'd think of it's like a cool way to bond, to get to know somebody really quick. You can.
If I came up to you with your Captain Planet script and I said I would like to read this with you, you would love it.
Yeah. That's actually how we became friends.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. You were naked in my bedroom.
Yep, with a gun.
A penis-sized gun.
With a penis-sized gun.
And you were like, "Can we read this script I found?" And I said, "Okay." And I played Wheeler, and you played every other role.
Yep.
And a friendship was born.
That's right. And then we were like, should we do this podcast? And we're like, yeah, we got an hour to kill because that was only 20 minutes.
It was only 20 minutes ago.
Recorded this podcast.
We just met this morning.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's still crying in the bedroom. But,
well, she better stay in there because I still have that gun.
All right, we got 3 minutes left. Let's just run through these. What we got?
1998, we got What Dreams May Come. I've never seen it.
Looked crazy.
It did look crazy.
Cray-cray.
I want to see it. It's based on a book by Richard Matheson, who I love.
Yeah,
and
great writer.
I have the book. I haven't read it yet. So
he goes to heaven, right? His wife dies, and he goes to heaven.
Yeah, I believe she goes to hell, or
dear,
something like that.
Oh, wow.
There's something like
was she
save
bigoted?
her.
Was she racist?
Yeah, she was like a huge racist or something. I don't know. I've never seen the movie, but we'll watch it and get back to you guys. Patch Adams, never seen it.
Never seen it.
Don't really care to see
That's a real doctor too, right?
Yes, I think so.
Look, I got clown nose.
Hello. Now you will. 1999, our final two movies of the 90s. We got Jacob the Liar. I've definitely never seen Jacob the Liar.
Is Jacob
I remember
spelled with a K?
It certainly is.
Why do I know that?
I don't know. But I remember it was everywhere. I remember the not even the tagline for this one. I know it. Just the commercial was just like Jacob the Liar.
Is this an Oscar bait movie? What is this?
It was, but I remember it being a horrible bomb.
It also, the game for Jacob's Liar was really lackluster.
It was not that good.
It was just a cardboard with a die, and it's like you roll 5 spaces, like Jacob lied again.
Yeah.
Go back 3 spaces.
It was really not as good as the movie
promised
it would be.
Although the commercial was great. Jacob's Liar. It's a movie about a game.
Liar. The movie about the game. It cost $45 million, and it made
the game.
The game cost $45. That's why only one person bought it. Kim Jong Il.
like that Wu-Tang album.
Yep. Yeah, and it made less than $5 million back, so it did not do very well.
Robin Williams, a lot of bombs, a lot of stinkers.
He had a lot of bombs in the 90s. And then Bicentennial Man was the last movie of the 90s.
Boy.
Never saw it.
Never saw it. Looked a little too sentimental.
It looked a little schlocky.
Schlocky, yeah.
Based on an Isaac Asimov story. Actually, apparently based on 2 different Isaac Asimov stories. Maybe that's why it wasn't so good. And you know who else was in it? Oliver Platt.
Sam Neill. Really?
Oliver Platt.
He was? Oh, wait.
Next time you see him.
I thought you were saying Oliver Sacks for a second. I was like,
no. Next time you see Oliver Platt, you tell him you were great in Bicentennial Man.
He'll probably get mad at me again. I'll have to send him some kind of esoteric tweet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it looks like after the 90s, Robin Williams kind of had a turn. Like, he was not in a movie in 2000, and then he...
Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie was 2002. So in 2002, he was in 1 Hour Photo, Death to Smoochie, and Insomnia, and all of those were kind of different. Like, Death to Smoochie is a much darker comedy than he would usually do.
Yeah.
And then Insomnia and 1 Hour Photo were both serious
Insomnia,
movies.
Ironically, not joking, the first movie I ever fell asleep during.
Really? Like in theaters?
Yeah, I think...
I saw it once. I love Christopher Nolan, as I believe you do too.
I was just really tired.
I saw it once, and I was like, whatever. And then I own the Blu-ray, and I have yet to rewatch it.
I have a feeling it's a very the story is underwhelming, I'm sure. That's why it's not the big hit it is. But I have a feeling it's very well done, shot to shot or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Our timer's up.
Our timer is up. So
what have we learned?
What have we learned today, Jack? What have you learned today?
I learned that you once jizzed in somebody's shampoo bottle and made them wear their hair.
I did not.
And that you are
a big weirdo.
A big weirdo.
I learned that you are okay with drinking spit as long as you don't know that it's in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, can you hand me my water?
Yeah, absolutely. Here you go.
Why did you make that noise in the microphone before you handed me my water?
No reason. All right, so that's it for this episode of 90s P. My name's Dan.
And my name is Jack, and we'll see you in another decade.
This episode of 90s Percentile was brought to you by our friends at jock.com. That's JOQ.com. websites, apps, everything digital. That's where you want to go. Jock.com.